What's up, guys? It's Jim with AwakenedTCG, bringing you guys a brand new series today. This one going to be really fun. We're going to go ahead and try to make some old leaders that nobody plays anymore viable. We're going to try our best to make a deck list that can make these old leaders work in the new format. And today we have, for our first in the series, we're going to be playing Z or Zephyr, depending on what you call him. But this guy pretty much introduced an OP02, saw a bit of play then, and then hasn't seen anything since. This guy might be a lost cause. I think people did test him a lot at the start, but nowadays, especially with the huge buff that Purple got in OP05, I think there is a deck list for this guy that can really, really work. So we're actually going to go and show you guys the deck building process here. I do not have a deck made just yet. I'm actually going to go ahead and try to make a deck and make this guy work. I would use one-piece top decks as a reference, but there are no Z decks that have topped in the entirety of OP05 in the West or in Japan yet. So we are going off nothing, so let's go through this deck list, and then we're going to run some games. So to start, I just like adding the cards that I know are going to be 100% 4-ofs. So this 10-drop, if you don't know Z, it's basically you play this guy on board and you kind of win the game if you are in a stable state. So we're going to add him 4-of for sure. And I think the new 5-drop Kid Blocker is just insane with your consistent leader effect. You can kind of just play it out if you need it and use leader effect, and it guarantees that you are only going down -3 and getting one back active. So I think both of these are going to be just absolutely no-brainers. And next up here, I'm actually just going to start adding cards that I think have a chance as like a 1-of. So I think Polly can maybe be good. Let's add a 1-of him. Looking for other cards that we could probably use here. Miss Doublefinger may be a good 2K. So we're just going to go ahead and add a ton of 1-ofs, and then we'll get back to you guys after that. So now that we have our 1-ofs laid out, these are just all the cards that I added 1-of I think have a chance of being added in the deck. We just have to come up with the ratios. Pretty much the plan I'm going to be going for is I need to have a ramp to get to this Tenzon as fast as possible, seeing as it is our win con for sure. And we also need a bit of draw, because obviously if we don't draw the Kuzan, then we will not be finding it a lot of the times, as it is not searchable. So let's go ahead and cut this down, and we will be right back. Alright, so we've got our starter deck list here. I ended up adding a lot of ramp cards such as Polly, Zoro, John Bart, and Lead Performer. The Lead Performer specifically draws us a card as well, which is also what we want to do. Basically, the idea of this deck is we are just trying to get to 10 as soon as we can and play this guy. Because if you get down Tenzon with 2 or less life, you are basically guaranteed to win the game. So let's go ahead and get into our first match. Alright, and game 1 here, looking like we're going to be going against a green kid. Honestly, not too sure what this guy does in OP05, but we're going to go ahead and see. All right. Do not have the 10 cost in hand, so we're actually just going to use this to cycle. Just because if, we can get the 10 Don all we want. If we don't end up actually seeing 10 drop, there's no point to it. So, going to play Zoro here, kind of a no-brainer. If he swings at us 5, 7, whatever, we're probably just taking it this turn, which is completely fine. He's going to go ahead and play Brook into Nami, no search, which is good for us. And we're going to go ahead and take that one, and there is going to be the 10 drop. So that is actually really good for us. So this turn we can get to 6, which means next turn we will be at 8. I don't think there's any way we play Kuzan next turn, so we do not need to play any more ramp. I think we're just going to go ahead and play Sabo and go from there. Probably going to end up playing 10 Kid a bit later. Polly, I don't think we're going to need Polly. There's no reason to ramp, but this Lead Performer is probably worse. Alright, so he's actually going to go ahead and play a Frankie here. And we are online next turn with 10 cost, so we're actually going to play Kid for sure this turn. and just swing at board with the rest of our Dawn. So let's try to get Nami out of the way. We might want to swing with Sabo just to bait him into attacking it. So let's go 2 here and see if he counters out. We will not be using card action. He's going to need to give us 2 cards for sure. And there they are. Let's go ahead and swing with that Sabo for 7. He's going to give it to us, and we'll play the kid down. So he's now on 8, which means if I had to guess, probably a 7-drop Luffy coming down, which is pretty much fine for us. He's going to go 7 lead, which is smart. We're going to go ahead and take that. Yeah, if he goes at Sabo, we're just giving him less counter. Yeah, and then he's going to go at Sabo. Okay, I think he could have kept going lead here, but that is A-okay with us. Gives us a free block. We will take that every day of the week. And yeah, we have a perfect 10 cost turn here. So probably just going to go and pop the Frankie here. Don't think there's any real question there. Pop that. And then we will swing at the Brook and KO the Luffy. That is going to actually activate our Kid effect, getting us a 1 Dawn active here, which is going to allow us to swing another 7 with our Sabo. And now in this board state, we actually have 7 Dawns, so we're going to going to 9 next turn, which means we're probably just going to use leader effect once again. It's really not that big of a detriment. Swinging 6, we'll give him a 1K. That's a pretty easy 1K. With 10 Dawn up, he can play another 7 cost Luffy, but in that case, we pop it anyway. So let's see what he does here. We'll probably end up playing Polly next turn. Okay, if he's going to swing a ton here, that's completely fine with me. Going to go at Sabo. That is fine. Going to do that restand, go 12. We will give him that. Fine with us. And with only Zoro on board, we could play the Polly. I kind of like the Polly, just because we don't really have any options. We could also just play the Law. I think we would rather play the Law. Yeah, we're going to play the Law here and just KO with leader effect, I think. So let's go 7 with Kid. It's maybe a bit risky, but also if he doesn't counter out of this, I think we just have game. We're going to go 10. He does not counter out, which makes this swing 8 Dawn, 13. The odds he has 13 is going to be 7, 9, 11, 13. Yeah, it's going to be a ton of 2Ks. Honestly, I doubt he has that. We could play on the safe side here, but I really do think we got it. Yeah, he does not have it. And there was game 1. I honestly really liked the list there. I think the Kid player probably should have gone a bit more aggro, so I'm not going to make any changes, and let's hop right into the next match. And hopping into our next game here, we actually have a match against Katakuri. So a lot of people say Z is good against yellow, so I guess we are going to see. So we do have the Zoro on 3 and a little bit of draw power, so I think this is a keep for us. We're actually just going to cycle with this and draw into another one, but that is why we used it. So just going to swing 5 here. If he does get a trigger, so be it. But a lot of the times, Katakuri players will like to counter out of the first life as they want to know what their first trigger is before they end up taking it. So our Zoro here is actually completely safe. So he's going to go ahead and attach 1, use leader effect. The only thing that can get rid of Zoro. So he's going to move that to the bottom, which either makes me think it's just not a trigger, so maybe something like a 10 cost or something like that if he already has some in hand, or, you know, it could be a trigger he'd want later, like a beige. We're going to take that. Still no 10 costs in hand, which is a little rough. We can actually get up to 7 here. So let's go ahead and use this. So we are at 6. And we'll swing 5 with Zoro, go up to 7. And then probably just going to cycle 1 and swing 6 with lead, to be honest. He'll counter out of that. And still no 10 drop. We actually can't play it next turn anyway. So he's going to go 5-7 here, which is completely fine. We'll go ahead and take the 7. Still no 10 drop is honestly really rough. We're going to go ahead and draw. Hope we find one, but unfortunately we do not. So we can either swing 7, play Borsellino, or we can swing 6 and play Kid, and I think I'd rather swing 6 and play Kid. No trigger there, which is really good for us. Probably going to choose to take 1 life here, just so we have 2 chances at drawing into 10 drop next turn. Because unfortunately, there is no doubt that this deck is definitely built around 10 drop. So if he's attaching 4 here, he's probably going to go 7-9. We'll take this 9, and there's the 10 drop, exactly the way you want to take those. Interesting, he's actually going to go 8-8. Okay, so we can counter out of this one. And we will actually block and counter out of this one as well, giving him probably just the second Kid. So we actually can just swing at board here. We don't need to worry about anything else. Yeah, honestly, probably just going to swing with Kid. I'm not even going to lie. Just see if he gets a trigger here. Because if he does get a Thunderbolt, Kid was dead anyway. Also, it's not like he has a rusher that we have to worry about. So we're going to attack here, get 1 Dom back, and KO the Parasparrow. Actually in a decent spot here. He is at 10 next turn, which is why him going second is kind of rough for us. And he's going to draw that 8 drop, which honestly doesn't do much for him here. I would cycle this Great Eruption out, but it is going to be a way for us to guarantee take out his 10 drop if he drops the next turn, so we're actually going to keep it in hand. He's actually going to go ahead and choose not to play 10 drop and just end up leaving 7 up, which makes me think he might play something like a Parasparrow plus a 4 cost. So we'll go ahead and give him that, which is fine with us. The 7 Mom, as much as I'd love to trash a life here, we unfortunately have to give him that life. So here, I think if we're on 9 Dawn, we're probably just going to play the Poly. KO the Linlin here. So let's go ahead and swing 10, see if he gets a trigger. Because in that case, we will probably just kill it with Leader Effect. He's actually going to use the Ikoku Sovereignty trigger. That's actually really interesting. In that case, we're going to pop the Big Mom here. Gain another active Dawn. And I do have to swing here, so we're just going to swing 8. Again, hopefully this is not a character trigger. If it is, we're probably done for, but it is not. Good for us. And there's the 10 cost, which is what we knew was coming anyway. So the question is, are we playing Law or are we playing Borsellino next turn? Both are going to lose to Amaru anyway. So we might as well try to get it out of his hand with the Law. So I'm actually going to give him the Borsellino to counter out right now. So first thing, ooh, Queen is a great draw for us. So we're actually going to swing 10 here. Hopefully he takes, he probably will take, but hopefully he doesn't get a trigger is what we really don't want. He doesn't get a trigger, so that's going to be an easy Law for us. And we ended up trashing a Katakuri and a Brule. Not the best targets, but that is fine with us. And then we have a perfect amount of Dawn for Great Eruption plus Queen. So let's go ahead and use Great Eruption on the Big Mom here, and then we'll just swing activating Z effect. KO the Big Mom, and swinging 6. Probably should have swung with Poly first, but that's completely fine. He actually just showed us there that he has no 2Ks, so I'm going to swing with Poly first, because if he does have a Thunderbolt here, I do not want our Queen to get hit. And also we confirmed that he has no 2Ks, so no trigger there, which is fine. For us, another 10 drop, we definitely don't need that, so let's leave him out of there. And if he wants to play another 10 cost, that is fine with us. We actually have the Suru in hand to take it out again. But unfortunately, now down to 4 Dawn after 2 Dawn minus effects. But we are going for game, right? He doesn't have a lot of life. We have a ton of swings on board, so Hopefully he doesn't force us to use a blocker, then we can just go maximum swings next turn. But if he does, it's really not that big a deal. Looking back, maybe just should have played Queen Raw, just so we could have 7 Dawn up, which means we could play Poly next turn. Didn't think about that at the moment, but that is completely fine. So he actually has one win con here, and that's if he has a Maru to rest Law and into Thunderbolt to KO Queen and go for game there. But if he doesn't have that, he's definitely in a rough spot. If he plays a 10 cost here, he'll be at 4 cards in hand, and we have a lot of good swings, so we'll have to see how that goes. Definitely thinking about this for a while. Maybe he'll end up playing like an 8 cost Katakuri. Really not sure. And 8 cost is already in range of leader effect, so we actually don't really care about that. So leaving 7 up and actually swinging at the Poly here. So we can actually counter out twice. 7 Dawn could be... I mean, another 7 cost Mom is just bad here. So I think we're going to give him the blocker. Would rather have Poly on board than Law right now. He's actually going to play a Brule and a Sanji. Double blocker. Interesting. So again here, the Poly would have been great. But we don't have it. So we're just going to have to swing at lead. Kind of hope he doesn't have what we don't want him to have. Going to definitely play this. We do draw into the Kid. Little late, but better late than never for sure. I think we're going to go 7, see what he does. Because we do still have a chance to go for game here. We can actually go 7 3 times. We will go 7 again, use card action, and KO the Sanji. If this card is a Thunderbolt, I do lose. Because odds he has a Thunderbolt hand are very low. He's actually going to completely counter out of that. Okay, so we could swing with 10 cost here, but he could get a trigger that completely screws us over. So we're actually just going to pass. Because, you know, if he plays like a 10 cost Mom or whatever next turn, we just win. So we're going to play it slow. Probably just play the Kid next turn. And yeah, he's going to go 7. Oh, he'll play Yamato. Interesting. Okay. So he's going to gain 1 life, which is pretty good. And he'll go 7 to lead. I think we're just going to block 2k, knowing that he has no more... Oh, no, he's going to swing at Poly. You should always swing at leader in these situations, guys. Just because, you know, I have to counter out of leader, so he's... But it's the same difference when you have the Queen, but... Not a big deal. We're just going to do that there. And I think we just go for game. With 5 Dawn next turn. We could play it safe. Play a Suru to KO the Yamato. But realistically, if I just play Kid, I have 3 6k swings. I actually have 2 6ks and a 7k, so and a 10k. So yeah, we're just going to go for game. Play Kid. We're going to make sure he can never use this blocker. So let's see if he has a 2k. He didn't show us any earlier, so 6ks are probably the magic number right now. Oh, he actually has 1 2k. So now we actually need all of these 3 to hit. So we're going to go 6, 7, and 10. Let's go 6 with Poly first. He's going to take, so... Realistically, there's a few outs. If this is a Beige, or if this is a Katakuri, we do lose. Sorry, not Katakuri, I meant a blocker. But realistically, I'm gonna guess he doesn't have it, and I'm just gonna have to go for it here. 7, 10. No 2Ks in hand, please. He doesn't have it. Does he get a Beige? He gets a blocker. Oh, that is so tough. Okay. Unfortunately, that is going to be the game. That's just how Katakuri goes sometimes, guys. But I think a really good match and just a really good showing of the deck, for sure. Yeah, 11k, we're not going to be able to counter out of that. So, GG, and on to the next. And next up here, we've got a red and purple Law. Not sure how this matchup goes, to be honest with you. Probably... not great, as we do not have the best defense in the world. Double Zoro and a lead performer early seems okay. Honestly, still learning on what hands to keep in this deck. So yeah, we're just gonna cycle. We see the Kuzan, which is actually good. But I don't think we're gonna play it next turn, as it's probably just gonna get bottom decked. He'll go 5/5, which is fine. We're gonna use this. Just make him run low on cards. He'll give us a 2K. Interesting. I'm going to give him one of the Zoros for sure here. And then probably just going to use this, swing 6 at Zoro. And if he has another 2K, you know, fine by me. Not tripping there. Yeah, he does. He gives us the Shachi Penguin, which would have been a great target for him to play this next turn, but will not be having it now. He's going to play the Brook. Interesting. He'll swing 6, and he'll swing 5 with lead. Yeah, we'll probably just take the 5, or we'll probably take the 6 and counter out of the 5. He has another Rush Zoro here that's a bit annoying. Okay, he's actually going to have the Law. And yeah, I did not play around that. That was completely my fault. Going to give him the Zoro. And now it's 7 Dawn. We can actually pop this and play a Borsalino in one turn. So we're definitely going to do that here. Yeah, he's going to give us the Zoro, which shows us he just doesn't have a lot of counter in hand. And there's the 10 drop, which is pretty big for us. He's only at 3 Dawn. So Brook is not enough here. To bottom deck our Borsalino. We'll probably end up giving it to him anyway. Yeah, so he'll swing 6. He needs to show us another bottom deck effect to make this worth his while and have a good target to actually bring off of leader effect. Okay, so he's actually going to do Fire Fist, which is interesting. Does he have a target to play? Shachi Penguin here would be good, but he has another Brook, so he's actually going to go down to 0 Dawn. We'll take this one. We actually get the Kid there, which is pretty good. And I think we can clear his whole board here. So yeah, we're just going to go 10 drop. Take out the Brook. And we'll attack into this other Brook and KO the Law. Yeah, so he actually has only 2 Dawn right now. We kind of starved him out. If he wants to swing 7, he's only going to swing 5. Oh. No, he's actually going to swing 7, so I think we do have to counter out of this, which is fine with me. We're definitely just going to play Kid and use leader effect again. Just kind of starve him out. But we actually don't need to use leader effect, which is pretty good. So yeah, we're definitely just going to cycle as we already have a Kuzan on board. And then, yeah, we swing 7, 10, play Kid. Not much to think about. No triggers to really worry about in this deck, so... He's only at 4 Dawn next turn as well, so we're really not that scared. Maybe should have played Sabo this turn and Kid next turn, just so we have sufficient counter in hand. That was probably the better play, but also we could block with Sabo and feel better about it. But yeah, he's going to kill Kid anyway, yeah. We're at 10 next turn regardless. Okay, so yeah, he's going to get rid of Kid, play out Shachi Penguin. We'll just be getting rid of that, so... Not too big a deal. Yeah, no trigger there. And yeah, definitely gonna cycle this guy out. 2K, which is really good for us. And then yeah, we definitely just play Sabo here. Let's see what we get. We get a Borsalino actually, which is really good. So let's get rid of these 2 10 drops. And then we will just swing 6 using effect here and KOing the Shachi Penguin. And then we get a 10K swing, meaning if you don't kill us next turn, you're pretty much cooked. And with 2 blockers up, he's going to need like some sort of unblockable, but I don't think he could have it. We have 2 2Ks in hand. Yeah, and there's the Uta. Yeah, we're definitely going to not let that one go off, so. And he'll just... If he brings out another blocker here, yeah, he actually doesn't have one, and he'll leave right away, so. That is going to be the game. Probably not a good matchup for him if I had to guess. We can kind of just stuff him out and then remove board and he can never get back on his feet. So, interesting matchup there for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching all the way through. In conclusion, Z as a deck, we didn't play against any of the big hitters like Sakazuki or NL or anything like that. So... it's out on that, but we did play against a Katakuri, had a really good match, and only ended up losing to a Trigger. We played against a Kid, which is a bit underplayed, and a Red-Purple Law, which is definitely not a bad deck at all. And I think this deck performed very well. Obviously, playing on the sim, you don't get the best competition in the world, but these were not the worst players ever. And I do think this deck performed really well for a deck that a lot of people consider, tier 4, just unplayable. And if you guys do want to try this build out for yourself, I think it's a really good one. One card I wish we got to use in Showcase is this Killer. When a Dawn is returned to your Dawn field or back to your Dawn deck, you can KO one of your opponent's rested characters with the cost of 3 or less. So say we have this on board when we play the 10-drop Kuzan, we can KO a 5 on play with this. And then we can use Leader Effect, which counts as a Dawn minus for Killer. And if they have, say, even like a rested 8-cost Katakuri, you can KO something with Z, and then this one KOs the Katakuri. And it's 3 KOs in 1 turn for playing 1 card. It's pretty insane. But yeah, we didn't get to show that off today, but I do like the deck list. If I were to make any changes, I think I might... I don't know. We didn't see the John Bart, so I can't really judge it. But I think the Kuzan isn't amazing. It does get us the draw, so I think it's fine at 2 for now. But honestly, probably the weakest link. So if you guys do want to try this deck out, it is on screen right now. And please let us know in the comments what Forgotten Leader you want us to play on our next video in this series. I had a lot of fun with this guy, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please have a great day. Peace.